Welcome to Pick a Card, Any Card.
Where we pick a card
Any card.
and remove it from the game.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Devin.
Today we reflect on our favorite cards.
From Eldritch Moon spoiler season.
So today's going to be a little bit different. We're not just picking two cards that we focus on. We're just going to sort of run down what our favorite cards from the Eldritch Moon spoiler season. I think a great place to start this off is with the card that I am the most excited about. I'm going to be sad because I'm not going to pull it in the pre-release.
Oh, of course not.
And that is Tamiyo Field Researcher. This card is so exciting.
It is really cool.
It's one generic, a green, a white, and a blue for a Planeswalker Tamiyo. Comes into play with 4 loyalty counters. Her +1 ability is choose up to 2 target creatures until your next turn. Whenever either of those creatures deals combat damage, you draw a card. Now this ability reminds me a lot of Warrior's Lesson, which lets you pick up to 2 target creatures, and when they deal combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card for each one.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this because you mentioned that card and no one knew what card you're talking about. No one cared about Warrior's Lesson.
Which is weird. But this is
not
better.
a good card. Oh, it's way better.
Because it's whenever they deal combat damage at all.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior's Lesson is when they deal combat damage to a player.
I want to point out that one fun thing that I've noticed on both Tamiyo and Liliana, which is the other Planeswalker in this set, the +1 says up to 1 target creature gets -1.
Liliana's is -2, -8.
Oh, it's that. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. It's her +1 says up to 1 target creature, and the reason for that is because they don't want to be like, there's no creatures on the board, therefore you can't activate her +1 because you have no legal targets.
No, actually, but I also would like to point out, both Tamiyo and Liliana have until your next turn. Mm-hmm. So both of these are incredibly flexible.
Oh, yeah. No, I think Liliana's is just until...
Nope.
Until your next turn. You are right.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Because you can bubble their creature and just say, hold on, that creature's not doing damage.
Liliana is way better than I thought she was.
I'm not as excited about her, though.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, she's not bad.
She's not bad. I mean,
she is good.
She's definitely going to be a staple in all zombie decks here on forward.
Oh, maybe not. She's definitely going to be run if zombies take off in Standard. She's going to be...
It's looking like they're gonna.
Yeah.
They've spoiled some stuff that I think is going to be really good for zombies.
The Blue-Black zombie deck may be able to get there, and if it does, its primary role will be to spot removal X1.
Yeah.
It's like, that thing's dead, because that's what a lot of, human...
Right.
Once Collected Company rotates out, then it may have a chance.
Everyone is just waiting for Collected Company to rotate out.
Because Collected Company's too good. But anyway, Tamiyo has other abilities.
Yes, 2 more, in fact. So she has a -2. Tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step.
Which is essentially another one of the until your next turn things.
Right. And actually, I like this because if they have some problematic creatures that are just, you don't want them dealing damage, so you don't want to pick them for her first ability, you can tap them down and get a little bit of time to deal with them. Because you're playing Bant. You have blue to bounce things, you have white to blow stuff up, and you have green to do whatever green does.
yeah, just green things.
You have green to doubling season.
I love the fact that Wizards pretty much straight up said that, you want to know why she's banned?
No,
because we wanted to ban Planeswalker.
It's about time we had
It's why not? If there's... no one cares enough about Tamiyo to be upset that she's no longer just blue. And it actually works better with her, I think.
Yeah, I think that Tamiyo it makes sense that she's branched out into other colors because she's now had time away from her home plane.
Yeah.
So she's learned new things. I think this indicates that, she's learned and grown, even though we haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah. Well, she's become a field researcher, as it says in her name.
Yeah.
And, so that's definitely green. And I think the white comes from her, a lot of in Gatewatch story. She's pretty much adopting white now. It's now I have a duty to do X, etc., etc.
Right.
As before, what we've seen of her, she's no, I just research things. You guys do you.
So there is a possibility that she could end up joining the Gatewatch. There is that possibility.
A slight possibility. I think she's definitely involved because she's in the art of Sealed into the Moon, or
Right.
whatever it's called. She's in the art. Just her and Nisa are the ones who actually did it.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I think it's actually because Nisa's part of the Gatewatch.
yeah.
So
I'm not saying she won't.
Right. No, there's a possibility. I admit it's a small possibility because she still has that. I just want to learn things. I'm gonna go read a book over here.
Like, she's not gonna join the Gatewatch. She'll be an honorary. We're like, hey, Tamio, think we could borrow you for a few minutes? Why? Because we need help. With what? I mean, I'm not saying I won't, but I want to know before I go in there.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Oh yeah.
her final ability, her -7, is so exciting. Draw 3 cards. But it doesn't end there. I think drawing 3 cards would be great. Not -7, but this is -7 worthy. You get an emblem with, you may cast non-land cards from your hand without paying their mana.
Mm-hmm. You get omniscience.
You just, there it is. Doesn't matter. You load your deck with the giant creatures that you've always wanted to cast. Use her, draw 3 cards. Hey, maybe one of them's an Emrakul. Emrakul for free.
Ironically, you can get this out on turn 7.
Yeah.
No, turn 8. Because on 4, she'll go to 5. On 5, she'll... Yeah.
On 7,
On
she'll
turn
go to
8.
Yeah, 7, she'll go to 7, and then you can minus.
Yeah, on 8, turn 8. Ironically, that's the same turn you can play Omniscience.
Yeah, so?
Just saying. The reason... My biggest problem with this ability is it's just blue. Her ultimate is blue and only blue. Draw 3 cards, that's blue. Omniscience is very blue, as it's actually a card, and it's blue.
Green draws cards. Maybe not just straight up draw 3 cards. I mean...
Green will draw a card depending on creatures you have.
It's... Her +1 is green.
Yeah.
It's Warrior's Lesson. A little bit better. Her -2 is blue. And her -7 is Ancestral Recall plus here Omniscience.
Plus Omniscience, yes. Like I said, she is definitely a blue planeswalker with 2 colors appended on. I like her, don't get me wrong, but I am a little disappointed that she is not actually banned.
Yeah, that's fair. They could have probably done something to make her middle ability white so that it was, actual banned abilities. That would have been nice. But I'm still super thrilled about it.
Oh yeah, I really like her. She is really
Part
cool.
of what I love about this is you don't have to do any extra work to add in a doubling season. You ramp just a little bit. No, man.
What?
Doubling season.
Yeah.
Doubling season is green.
Yeah.
Doubling season doubles the amount of counters that she comes in with.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, I guess she'll start at 8.
She
so
starts
you
at
get her
8,
ult.
you
Okay.
-7, and she lives.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
That is really good.
And you don't have to go out of your way to do it. And you can play her before turn 3, or before turn 4. She's green. You just ramp into her.
Yeah, here's the problem with that, though. Is she's green, white, blue.
It's still not hard.
It's
Green fetches for land better than any other color does.
Yes, I will give you that. But keep in mind that, 1, if you're running 3 colors in your deck, there is a chance that you won't have that green search in your opening hand. If you do, there is also a chance that you won't have green mana up. And you'll have to use that search to get colored mana, and it's less likely.
There is that chance unless you're just a majority of your deck is green mana and you only put out the blue and the white.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Blue-white tap lands, the dual types are like the shock lands.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're willing to put $100 down on your mana base, yeah, you can totally rock this out on turn 3.
She's gonna be a $30, $40 card by herself.
Yeah, she's 4 mana, she protects herself, she does all the good things that
She's
planeswalkers
gonna
are
be a
supposed to do.
solid planeswalker. I expect her to see standard play at the very least.
I don't think so, exclusively because standard is very aggro-y, and the actual control decks are in standard now. Maybe in the next set. I don't know what the next set will have.
Once Collected Company rotates out, everything's gonna change.
Everything's going to change, but you know what the...
Control could make a comeback.
The non-controlled, they know what the non-collected company decks are. Control. You know what colors they are? Green, black.
Well, you're only 2 colors away.
2 colors. You have to drop one of your colors and bring in 2 different colors.
We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying she's bad. I don't think she'll work in the meta. Maybe with an Investigate deck. If they manage to get a Bant Investigate going.
You know, it's sad, but I don't think Investigate's gonna make it.
No, it's not. But I can dream, Harold.
I wish Investigate would have made it.
I wish.
It only needed a couple of things to make it.
It needed just a little bit more. The mechanic is solid just as a mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
The mechanic doesn't have enough to make a deck.
Because it works for every color. So
yeah,
if you have something that is just a solid card and in addition investigates,
yeah,
that's
like
nice.
Probably one of the most run / best Investigate cards is Tireless Tracker, but not excluding that.
Well,
one.
yes.
Excluding that one of the best ones is Thraven Investigator.
Yeah,
which is just 1/2 for investigates when it enters battlefield. Like,
it's a solid card.
It's really good.
And it has an upside.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's almost a bear. I mean...
Yeah. But yeah, Tamiyo is really, really good. Like, I doubt you're going to ever play her before turn 4. I'm not saying it's impossible, but what you would have to do to your deck to make it possible is not worth cutting what you
as far as I'm concerned, what you would have to do to make to your deck to play her earlier than turn 4 is build the deck around her. Make it mostly green, have a bunch of massive drop creatures, have just enough white and blue to cast her, because then it no longer matters.
Alright, I'm going to stop you here, because are you making a deck around the chance that you'll get an ult off?
Yes.
Okay, there's your problem.
Nah, it can be done.
That is a problem. Anyway, my favorite card is Gisa and Drolf, almost exclusively by flavor. It's definitely a solid card.
I think that what they did with Gisa and Geralf is exactly what they needed to do for Gisa and Geralf.
Oh, it's exactly what they need to do. Gisa and Geralf is a 4/4 creature, legendary creature, human wizard, for 2, a blue and a black. Gisa and Geralf is literally Gisa and Geralf in the same card, just both of them.
Now it makes me wonder. Are they both 2/2s? Is one of them...
They are. The actual the Gisa card and the Geralf card from the commander sets
are both 2/2s?
Are both 2/2s.
I love it.
And so they're 2/2 creatures, so they're 4/4s.
I love it.
Like it would be a little bit more flavorful if there were 2/2 double strike.
That'd be hilarious.
Because there's 2 of them.
It's already just borderline too good. Do you know what this card's gonna do to Commander?
Not a lot, because it'll only let you play 1 zombie. So its ability, for people who don't know it yet, when Gisa and Geralf enters the battlefield, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. During each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard. And the best part of this card is in italics at the bottom that says, quote, "These fiends are slightly less tolerable than you. A sentiment that warms my heart, sister." Because they love each other and hate each other. They are great. I love them.
I really do think that this card's gonna find its niche in Commander. Blue-black zombies...
Oh, definitely. Like, I am not arguing that, like, this card is gonna make a deck. And by gonna make a deck, I've already made this deck. It's sitting on tapped out, waiting for this card to come out.
Waiting for this set to drop.
So I can buy a Gisa and Geralf and get it in the mail.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't be sad to see this pulled during a pre-release. I would not be sad at all.
Like, definitely first pick, just mono zombies all the way. I guess it'd be mostly black.
You'd have to be sure you're going to get good zombie support, because the problem that I think is going to happen during a pre-release, the best zombie support to make zombies viable are in the rare and mythic slot.
That is true. There are a lot of commons and uncommons, and they're just coming out, like, recently. They've, like, a lot of the most recent spoiled cards.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I've actually noticed this with the spoiler season itself. They opened up spoiler season with Emrakul.
Right.
All right?
Because you've got to.
Yeah, like, Emrakul showed up. More horrors showed up. Briselia showed up.
Right.
Bad things showed up. Oh my god, everything was bad. Everything sucked. It revealed Hanuar.
Yeah.
That was melded with all the townsfolk and turned into that gibbering monster.
Yep.
Then it started showing... Then they pre-released... And then they released Liliana. A whole bunch more zombie... And then the Gatewatch.
Yeah, things are starting to...
And now it's going into, like, the one they revealed today. The, what's it called? Seal into the Moon?
Imprisoned in the Moon.
Imprisoned into the Moon. It, like, the spoiler season itself reflected the story of Eldritch Moon.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool.
It is actually awesome. And so, like, a lot of the zombie cards are like happening like late in it,
Right.
like late and mid, because it happened with Liliana.
Yeah.
And they took a backseat
like
to Liliana herself.
But
yeah, Gisa and Drolf are fantastic. It took me a while because the wording on the second ability, during each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard.
Yeah, it doesn't let you cast zombies at instant speed.
Yeah, well, it also only lets you cast one.
Right.
That's the part that confused me. Like, well, can you keep doing it? Because
it's once per turn.
Like, it's a zombie. Like, most things, if it was just, like, a continual thing, is, like, during each of your turns, you may cast zombie creature cards from your graveyard. And yes, A.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one, which is unfortunate. But it's still a really, really good card. Especially since they printed in last set Prized Amalgam.
Yeah. No, this plus Prized Amalgam, I cast one Prized Amalgam and I get 3 more. Just, here you go.
Yep. Or
the downside to Commander.
Yeah, you can only have one. Or, like, you can cast literally any other zombie, and then you get all 4 of the other Prized Amalgams.
Yeah. So, the 1-drop zombie that was just recently spoiled, you cast it, and then have 4 Prized Amalgams.
Yep. And you don't even need Gisa and Drolf for Prized Amalgam.
No.
You do any zombie.
No.
Like, Gravecrawler.
Prized Amalgam is great. Gisa and Geralf make it even better.
Oh, yeah. Like, this will be a Commander deck, and I'm definitely making it, which is weird, because I don't like zombies.
I tried really hard to make blue-black zombies work the last time we were in Innistrad, and I just couldn't do it.
That's because, like, the scabs and normal zombies didn't work together.
Yeah. I think they've fixed that this time around.
By getting rid of scabs.
There are some older zombies that are gonna be great. Endless Ranks of the Dead is going to be beautiful in this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I have every intention of running a lot of those, like, really big zombie specifics in this deck.
So we're recording this the Thursday before pre-release
weekend. It's the 7th. Pre-release is the 15th.
Right. This episode will release the Thursday before release weekend.
Yeah. So we probably got all of the not necessarily all of them. We were like missing like a rare.
Yeah, there's really only tomorrow left in spoiler season.
Yeah.
If they drop
the pre-release from Loading Ready Run is this weekend.
Yep.
So
this is an exciting time to be playing Magic. I'm thrilled about playing Magic. All right, so another card I'm super stoked about is the new incarnation of a card that we have talked about before. It hasn't been a featured card, but it has come up. Tree of Perdition.
Yup.
This is the Shadows over Innistrad version of Tree of Redemption.
Yep, it's the evil version.
Same mana, well, almost the same mana cost. It's 3 and a black instead of 3 and a green. For a 0/13 defender which is effectively the exact same, except black.
Yeah.
Its ability, however.
It's even a creature plant and a mythic. Its
ability tickles me pink.
Mm-hmm.
Tap, exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. Now, Tree of Redemption let you exchange your own life total with its toughness. Tree of Perdition lets you steal your opponent's life total.
Yup.
This is going to be hilarious with Triskaidekaphobia.
Yep, Triskaidekaphobia. I'm personally fond of things like Turn to Frog.
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, I activate Tree of Perdition, okay, and then I turn it to a frog.
Yep.
It's a 1/1. You have 1 life.
It's gonna be hilarious.
I swing my 1/1 flyer at you.
This card is going to do so many weird things. This is a deck brewer's dream, right?
Oh yeah, this card is nuts. Ideally, I'd want to make a green-black one so I could run both Tree of Redemption and Perdition.
Yes.
Just because.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Mm-hmm. And like, I love this also on a flavor effect. Like, Tree of Redemption started off green and Shadows of Innistrad, and then shit went downhill. Now it's black and does the exact opposite of what it used to do.
Yeah. In the background, you can see the Hell Vault's been broken.
Just shattered.
And that was from the original Innistrad block when it got broken. So I like how they kept that
in the background.
In the background,
the church that's off to the side.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
The art is very similar, just much more decayed.
Yeah, I really like it. What's the next card?
No, actually, the this got brought to my attention as I was looking through spoilers, and then the Mana Source did a video that featured this card because they're doing the Mana Source is doing like 2 weeks of just video every day spoilers.
Yeah.
And he brought up a very good point. If you haven't gone to watch his video, you really should. This card in Commander.
Yeah. That's
You've just dealt 27 damage to somebody, and you have a
Or
0-40
worse.
defender.
Or worse, you're playing one of those fucks who's cocky and has like a life gain deck. It's like, lol, I have infinite life. It's like, hey, guess what? Is that instant speed? No, I have an infinite toughness creature now, and you have 13. Swing for 50? Oh.
This card is going to be great in Commander,
Yes,
and
it
I'm
is.
so looking forward. I'm going to run this in my Teysa deck.
That you should.
This is going to be great.
It's like, surprise, now you have 13. Like, that's
And then I
significant.
just extort the fuck out of everything.
Yeah, because you only need to extort 13 times. That's good.
Yeah. So this is a card I'm thrilled about.
Mirrorwing Dragon. That's what the next one. I seen MIR and the little thing. Alright, so Mirrorwing
Yeah.
Dragon. I really like, but I really hate this card.
I am both dreading and excited about this
Let me
card.
tell you why I love this card. One, it's Precursor Golem, except better in almost every regard.
Yeah.
Because it's Precursor Golem without all the weaknesses. It costs the same, except he's red,
Right.
which I don't be not red because
Because
blue.
you're not a red player.
Yeah.
Well, cry me a river.
Also, all the things that would make this busted are blue, like Rites of Replication.
That's fine. Run red blue. You can do it.
That is true, but she's too red, and that makes things just a little harder. Just saying.
You and your
I would rather this just be blue. Or be green. Or be green blue or be colorless, so that way I could run green and blue in a deck and ramp up to it and then explode, because that's how the Precursor Golem deck works.
Here's the thing, though. If this were blue, it wouldn't be nearly as silly. Red does silly way better than blue does.
That is true. Like, just things like...
If it were blue, it would be whenever you cast a spell.
That is true. Like-
Because it's red, the ability reads, whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Mirrorwing Dragon, that player copies that spell for each other creature he or she controls that the spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures.
Yep. So what that means is if you cast something, like, let's say, just a giant growth, something to pump your dragon, it pumps all your creatures.
Yep.
Now, that's what Precursor Golem would also do.
But only the
However,
golems.
Yeah, only the golems. However, what Precursor Golem's weakness was is if your opponent Doomblade the Precursor Golem,
They Doombladed
he
all
Doombladed
of your golems.
all of theirs.
Yeah.
This guy, if your opponent Doomblade a Mirrorwing Dragon, he would Doomblade the Mirrorwing Dragon and all of his own creatures.
Which may or may not be a bad thing.
I mean, I highly doubt you want to Doomblade your entire...
If you're playing mono black, who cares?
because then your opponent's going to swing in with at least one Mirrorwing Dragon.
No. If you have a Mirrorwing Dragon on the board, and I'm playing mono black, and I Doomblade your Mirrorwing Dragon, nothing on my side of the field dies. Nothing. Doomblade targets non-blacks.
Got it. That is true.
So Doomblade is this thing's worst enemy in a mono black
well,
deck.
Still, yeah, if I guess.
But no.
I guess.
And
but still, any other kind of removal.
Murder, which is in standard right now, murder kills anything.
Oh yeah, and this card is really really good, and I really like it, and I'm definitely looking to build a deck around this one point. I probably won't, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a card I would build a deck.
I would consider brewing around this deck.
This is definitely a card that people would run in like an aggro EDH decks, like turn 5 Mirrorwing Dragon, swing all my creatures get like +5/+5.
I bet you this would slot into my Naya EDH deck quite nicely.
Naya. Oh wait, that's the one with the elk guy.
Yeah, with
Okay.
Marath.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I could perform a few minor tweaks and this would fit nicely.
Oh yeah, because you run quite a few like buff spells and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That would work really well. Now you want to know why I don't like this card though?
Because your opponent can buff it.
No, because it says dragon. I like dragons, but I don't like them in Innistrad. Innistrad should not have dragons in it.
I think
Why?
Dragons are everywhere.
But they shouldn't be. Like, maybe in, like, most planes that are mostly normal, but not in Innistrad. Like, Innistrad is Eldritch Gothic horror. It
Okay.
shouldn't have dragons in it. And if you actually... I went and looked this up. There's been a dragon in each set. So in the first 3 Innistrad sets, and one in each of these. There's only been one in each of them.
So there are only 5 dragons
There are
right now
5
in
dragons.
all of Innistrad.
Well, at least. But they are there solely because some guy at Wizard says, well, we need a dragon in it. Why? Because there has to be a dragon. And I would be fine with I would be fine with dragons in Innistrad if they had some Innistrad flavor.
That's okay.
They
I can
don't.
see
If
that.
there was like a zombie dragon or a skeleton dragon or a Eldrazi dragon or a dragon horror, they're not. They're just dragons.
Yeah.
The closest one is one from, I think it was Dark Ascension, but it was like Moon Silver Dragon or something like that.
Right.
And like it just kind of did. It was like a moon. Really.
Yeah.
But it was still red. It was still a dragon.
Oh man,
it was a moon dragon.
I could see the zombie dragon from Dark Souls would slot into Innistrad quite nicely.
Oh yeah, like and that would fit.
Just a green-black zombie dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And like
I could
one
see
thing, like
that.
it doesn't have to be red. Like we can get non-red dragons that aren't from Tarkir.
And
But like no, they just make
we have
more
non-red
dragons.
dragons that aren't from Tarkir. They're from Kamigawa.
Yeah, they're from a long time ago. Like
I would like to see some non-red dragons again.
I would too, but I would also like to just see not dragons.
Okay.
Fun
well,
fact, you want to know like the only set that didn't have dragons in it?
What?
Khans of Tarkir.
Yeah,
Khans of
that's
Tarkir
true.
was the only set that didn't have dragons in it, and that was the whole point of the Tarkir.
Yeah, they couldn't.
It
They
was
didn't
it
have
was like
dragons.
the only plane in existence that doesn't have dragons. That was what made it special.
Yeah.
And then they fixed that, and they made it all about dragons. They
Guys, we
overcompensated-
fixed it.
Guys, what? We forgot to put dragons in Khans of Tarkir. Oh shit!
Wait! I got it.
Let's just put a bunch of them in the next 2 sets. They were there the whole time, I swear.
Will, I got the fix for this. It's perfect. Time travel.
Exactly.
All right, what's up next? Ah, yes. Permeating Mass.
My friend John hates this card. Not because it's bad, not because it's anything, but because he's a red. I'm gonna let you say what it does before I explain why this shuts down so many just red deck wins decks. Go ahead.
Permeating Mass. 1 green for a 1/3, which is not bad at all.
That
is
is good.
great. It's a 1/3 spirit. Whenever Permeating Mass deals combat damage to a creature, that creature becomes a copy of Permeating Mass. This is hilarious.
This card is amazing. I love how its upside is, or its downside is supposed to be its upside, which is supposed to be its downside.
Right.
Because the whole point of this card is like, well, its ability is both good and bad. Because
Yeah.
like once you actually use its ability, your opponent now has one.
Yep. And even if yours died, your opponent still has
Yeah,
one.
and now your opponent has that good ability that you have. So like its good ability is good, and that's why it's bad. It's because it's good. It's because you essentially give it to your opponent too, and you're like, oh wait, no.
Yeah, the comments on this card have been blowing up about board stalls,
You wanna
and
hear-
they're totally right.
Permeating Mass. This Permeating Mass essentially shuts down red deck win because
Yeah.
red deck wins' plan is like turn 1, play a 1/1 haste, swing.
Yep.
Turn 2, play 2/2 like or a 1 or 2/2 with haste, swing for 3. Well, if your opponent's like, all right, well my turn 1 I play a turn 1 Permeating Mass. Well, that's a 1-drop 1/3. Well, crap.
That pretty much stops the first 3
It's
turns.
like, well, crap. That's just being a 1/3.
Yeah.
Like, that stops it. Like, well, crap. Thing number 2. Its ability says when it deals combat damage to a creature, that creature becomes copy of Permeating Mass.
Yep.
Well, hold on. If I swing my 1/1, it's going to kill my 1/1.
Yes.
So I lose a 1/1, so I can't swing.
Right.
If I play a 2/2, it doesn't kill it, but then my 2/2 becomes a 1/3.
Yep.
It's just like I can't. Like you have to use your turn 2 to burn spell it. And you have to use a good burn spell because it's a 1/3.
Yeah, you need to do 3 damage to
You
this thing
essentially have
as
to use
soon
like a
as you
lightning
can.
strike it. Just like,
Yeah.
all right, I have to use my incredibly important turn 2 because it's red deck wins. Like turn 2 is like the most important turn of the deck or the game. I have to use it to kill off your creature. Like that just puts me back
Yeah.
a turn. That's just and that hurts a red deck win.
Oh,
It
yeah.
hurts it a lot.
Yep. That I'm so happy that this card exists.
I am, but I'm not. Like I think it's a little too good, and I think it does. I don't like the fact that it shuts down. It is a rare, but it's
and
also
nobody's gonna use it in standard. This is gonna see a lot of casual and a lot of commander play.
Excuse me, but as long as Coco is a standard, this is a 1-drop green card, 1-drop green creature.
That shuts down your collected company, basically.
No,
whatever you get with collected company is eventually going to become this thing.
No, it won't, because you're going to just swing over your opponent's stuff. Or what you would do is, like, you'd swing, and once your opponent start getting adequate blockers, you just don't swing with it, because it's a really good blocker, because they can't swing with their, like, 5/5. Because, like, one Eldrazi guy, like, one guy with haste, like, he's being run a little bit. It's like, swing with your 5/5. I'll block with my 1/3. Yeah, I'll lose my 1/3 that I paid 1 mana on. But now your creature's a 1/3. He's like, yeah, but my 1/3 will block your, like, 2/2s. And like, you mean one of my 15 2/2s? You think I give a shit that it becomes a 1/3 that I'll use to block your other 5/5?
We could keep this going all day. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns my not very powerful creature into a slightly less powerful creature,
but with a much better ability.
Yeah, keep in mind that also a lot of Coco collected company, a lot of Coco decks run things that add +1 counters on things. So like even if the 2/2 with 3 +1/+1 counters on it gets turned into that, now it's a 4/6 instead of a 6/6.
Here's my biggest problem with this card. My biggest problem with this card is, well, it's a 2-part problem. 1, it's green, and 2, it's a spirit. Green spirits have no support.
Yeah, like I
have no
problem with either of those, but I can see your problem with the fact that
I don't have a problem with either of those.
Like together,
I love green.
What?
But you put a green spirit. You can't run this in white-blue spirits. You'd have to run Bant spirits, which. That's weird.
Which is essentially blue-white spirits with a permeating mass because there's not any other green spirits.
So, and there's no real spirit support in green. There's just creature support, which is good, but it'd be nice to get like...
You know what deck could run this really well?
Certainly not Saprolings.
Maybe, because like you just...
Because it's not a fungus.
That is true. But you know what deck this would run well into? Turn 1 permeating mass. Just like, swing your 2/2s. Think I care? I'll turn them into 1/1s, and just like all your important creatures that you're not swinging anyway.
Right. What's important about this is its combat damage, so they can't just like cheat. Or well, I guess they can't destroy one of your creatures. Like say you've got like a 5/5 flyer, they can't have that creature deal damage.
Yeah, you'd have to swing and permeate mass and then block with their 5/5 flyer, which is just stupid.
So I guess I could drop this in a Saproling deck and then just only ever block with Saprolings, which would die.
Yeah, or block with this guy.
Turn all my Saprolings, just buff my Saprolings by like 1 point and turn them all into 1/3s.
Yeah, I mean it works.
I've got to stop down this train of thought, otherwise the bad things are gonna happen.
I like it. I think it's a little too good. I think it would be a lot more balanced if it was either cost 1 more or it was a 1/2. Because a 1/3 for 1 by itself is just too good, especially in green.
Well, I mean, Colonian Tusker exists, which is a 3/3 for 2.
2 green though. Like there's a reason why Colonian Tusker doesn't be run a lot because he's 2 green. Like you have to run him in a mono green
or a deck that runs any sort of mana dorks.
Yeah, which is almost always like.
But it doesn't have to be mono green.
Yes, but it's either mono green or primarily green, splashing something else. As long as it's mostly green. But anyway, let's get away from that card. Go to another card that I really like from this set. Is Briselia, which is really 2 cards. Actually, it's really 3 cards.
It's 2.5.
I'm cheating, and I'm going to talk about 3 cards right now. All right, Briselia is the fusion of 2 other cards that I'm going to explain now. There's Gisela, the Broken Blade, which is a 4/3 legendary creature angel horror for 4.
That's a lot of words in the creature type line.
There's even more in the box that says what she does. But what Gisela is, there was I think she was 6 mana. An original Avacyn Restored, an original Innistrad, one of the 4 angels that was released from the Hell Vault, Avacyn,
Gisela, Sigarda, and Bruna. And there is a 5th, I believe, but we don't know who it is.
There was a black angel, but she was killed a long time ago. But there may have been just another angel in Avacyn Restored. There's probably like 4 other ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's, because if you look at the 3, the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, Blossom, Buttercup, and
Blossom,
Bubbles.
Buttercup, and Bubbles. Red, white, blue, white, and green, white. That means that there should be a 4th that's black, white.
Yeah, like there was.
But we don't know who that one is.
It was the 4th sister, and
Right.
she was killed a long time ago by Avacyn.
Right, I'm just saying we don't know who that is.
Yeah, we don't know her name, but like Avacyn killed her because she apparently got dealings with devils because she's black. Anyway, so this is Gazella, which is the red-white one, who was she was like out fighting, like that was her thing. They dropped the red in this set, and she's just white.
Which is weird, because you'd think being corrupted by Emrakul wouldn't necessarily change
Yeah, especially since you were all on board the, hey, why don't we exterminate all the humans plan?
Right.
Like, he would just be more red, but now she's white, I guess, which is weird. Anyway, she is a legendary creature, because there's only one of her. She's an angel horror because Emrakul took her over. I love the way Emrakul actually took her over. Her hair is replaced by, like, pink tentacle.
Yeah,
And her wings got, like, tentacle stuff in it, but, like, the big one is, like, her hair, which is really cool.
yeah, the art on this is fantastic.
Yeah. So, let's talk about what she does.
Well, let's start with the first 3 keywords.
Yeah.
Because that's not ridiculous for 4 mana.
Remember, she is a 4/3 for 4 with flying, first strike, and lifelink.
It's just unreasonable.
Holy crap. That is a lot.
I'd play this. I would play this in a heartbeat.
Yep.
For no other reason than it's a flying first strike
knows.
lifelink for 4.
Yeah, and you don't even have to use her second ability is actually kind of irrelevant. You don't even need it.
Right.
What her second ability is at the beginning of your end step, if you own and control Gisela the Broken Blade and a creature named Bruna the Fading Light, exile them and meld them into Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, which I will talk to about in a minute.
After we talk about what I consider to be the less good sister.
Oh yeah. Oh, she is. Yeah, she's not good. There's Bruna the Fading Light, which is unfortunate because she was actually a really good back before she got all crazy.
Oh yeah, no, she was my favorite of the 3.
Yeah. Bruna is a 7-drop. She costs 5 and 2 white.
Which hurts.
For a 5/7. Okay, what does she got as her ability? She is also a legendary creature, Angel Horror. I love her art, by the way. Like, her art looks really good.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It looks, you can tell that the light is fading.
But when you cast Bruna, the Fading Light, you may return target angel or human creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And she's also got Flying and Vigilance. I find it weird that they put Flying and Vigilance under the big stuff. I guess it makes sense because, like, her first ability is when you cast her.
Yeah. It's just weird to me because her ability is it's a solid ability. It really is, but it doesn't she sort of doesn't stand out compared to her little sister.
Yeah. Well, her little sister is cheap. She actually has a good ass ability. The return thing from the graveyard.
Yeah, because it's when you cast. That is
yeah.
Her ability is made better because it's a cast ability.
Yeah, and the fact that you get any angel.
Right.
So you get something like Avacyn. Either of the Avacyns, who are really expensive angels and really good. You get like Baneslayer Angel or any of the other angels.
Right. You could get herself.
Yeah, she can get herself.
Which
somehow.
I don't know why you would do that, but whatever. Fine.
Or what the more important one is you'd go get Gazella.
Yeah.
Because once she's on the battlefield...
you end your turn.
Yeah, you end your turn. You'd swing if they don't have any flyers. But what
Haste.
you do is when...
No haste.
Oh yeah, shut up. Anyway, so what you do is once you have both of them on the field, Gazella's ability activates where you exile them. And you meld them into one creature called Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, which is actually the transform side of them. Each of these 2 cards has half of their transformation on the back of their card.
You know how long it took me to figure out that's how that worked?
It actually took me quite a while until someone literally told me.
I figured it out like last week.
It took me a while too. Not quite as long as you.
Actually, no, I think I might have figured it out this week. It was either late last week or early this week.
No one says it. I for the longest time just assumed that...
yeah, I just thought that
they just both had the same one and you just pile them up on top. Like, no, they use the same. It's very similar to The big
furry monster.
big friendly monster. Is it
Big furry monster.
It's the big furry monster. You're right. The big furry monster from Unglued, which was actually they wrote an article about that is what they were trying to do.
Really?
Yeah, they spent years trying to make the mechanics for a big friendly actually and they finally wait, transform. That's it.
I think that it works. I think it's a little clunky for my taste. Probably not something I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
But I
I
wouldn't want to face down the barrel of this creature.
There's a significant chance that I'd be running a angel EDH deck
Well, here's my problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can spend 1 mana to unsummon Brizella, and you effectively have just bounced 2 creatures.
Yeah, but they both come back.
Yeah, they both come back, but then you have to go through the trouble of casting them again.
That is true. Yeah, it doesn't have hexproof. Wait, no, you can't. So for those who don't know, Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, which is an amazing name. It actually fuses their name. Bruna Gisela turns into Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, because Voice of Nightmares is an awesome just title to have.
Right.
Can that be my title? When we start the podcast, can I say, and Devin, the Voice of Nightmares?
I won't stop
you. You can be Andrew, the Lord of Dance.
Yes.
Anyway, Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, is a legendary creature, Eldrazi Angel.
No longer a horror.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Look at that art. This card has probably the best art ever. These two are literally, fused together into, a gibbering mass.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, she might be horrifying, but she still goes back to your hand when you flip Thing in Ice.
Okay. Yep. You managed to get there. You had to make up for that unsummon comment. So, for those who don't know, Brizella steals all of the keywords from the other sides of the 2 pieces she's made of.
So,
she is a flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink.
I wish they would alphabetize these.
They don't. You're
Nope.
right. That's weird. Anyway, they have all of those abilities, and your opponents can't cast spells with converted mana cost 3 or less.
Yep.
So no, she can't be unsummoned.
No, she can't.
However, but you have to flip Thing in the Ice. Fun fact, Thing in the Ice also costs 2, so you'll have to wait to flip him until it gets Brizella out.
Yeah, but all you have to do is wait to cast him until they drop one of those.
Yeah, fun fact though, it's not a May ability.
No,
so you essentially have to wait casting instant or sorcery spells, which, if you're running Thing in the Ice, that's kind of your thing.
Right.
Brizella is nuts. Brizella is a tough son of a bitch. She is a 9/10. Sure, it costs at least 7 mana to get her out, unless you manage to just cheat Bruna the Fading Light out. Fun fact, if it's a
that'll happen in Modern.
If it's a copy of Bruna, it doesn't work, because they can't meld. They'll get exiled, and then she won't...
and then the copy stops
and
existing.
they won't be able to come back.
What happened? Then they both just get exiled.
Yep. Don't get me wrong. Bruna being 7 mana is why Brizella will never actually get anywhere.
Yeah, no.
Because
at this point, Bruna is an anchor, and...
Yeah, this is what happens. If you are running an angel and or human deck, it's generally just EDH, you run 1 Bruna, 1 Giselle. Because on their own, they are both solid cards.
Yeah.
And if on the off chance that you have a Gisela in your graveyard and you top deck a Bruna...
Yeah. If you can...
Oh my god, you got there.
I mean, honestly, Bruna becomes a lot easier to get out in Modern with things like what my wife runs in her Angel deck, which is Quicksilver Amulet. That's gross.
Yeah, that's really good.
If you have out... Because you would hard cast Gisela, because she's 4 mana.
Yeah. And she's good.
And then you can bring out Bruna on your opponent's turn with Quicksilver Amulet.
Yep. You don't want to, because then Brizella will come in
and not have summoning sickness.
Yes, it will, because you have to you exile them, or go to Gisela. Gisela exiles them at the end of your end.
Oh.
Yup.
Man, they just made that so much less fun.
Also, you also want to do it on your turn anyway, because that way your opponent can't play spells with converted mana cost 3 or less. They most likely can't kill Brizella.
That's fair.
Without working hard for it. They'd have to essentially Wrath to kill all creatures.
Yeah.
Because just a 9/10.
And let's be honest, you're playing white, so it's not hard to give something indestructible.
Yeah. Fun fact. If you have either Bruna or Gisela as your commander, Brizella is still your commander.
Yes.
Because your commander...
At least half of her
is. Yeah. Like the top part, I guess. Fun fact. Being a commander is a... It is a special status of the card itself. So, for another example of this is if you manage to manifest your commander, like somehow, like, oh, put it to your top library. All right, I do. Then you manifest it,
Right.
and you swing with the manifest commander. It's still commander damage.
Yep.
Brizella's the same thing because it's still the same card.
That's a lot of commander damage
Yeah.
with a single swing.
Oh yeah,
man.
9 and first strike.
Because
And it's vigilant, so it doesn't tap. And it's so good, and you gain 9.
commander life.
Yeah, you would go down in commander damage.
I wish that's how that worked.
Yeah, unfortunately it isn't. So, real quick, the last thing I want to talk about with these two cards is the flavor text. I've been intentionally not saying it because I want to say it here at the end. Gisella's flavor text is, she now hears only Emrakul's murmurs. Bruna's is, she now sees only Emrakul's visions. And Brizella, Voice of Nightmares, is, upon discovering what had become of her sisters, Sigarda would only weep. It is really sad. Also,
sad.
it implies that they don't come back.
I mean, how can you come back from that?
Fun fact: when they actually spoiled this card, I was losing my shit because I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool, but I was really sad because oh my god, shit went down.
Yeah.
Literally, I asked my friends on Facebook, like, I wonder if they're gonna print a card that unmelds creatures, and then they immediately spoiled it. That exact card. It was just a flicker. Exile it and return it.
Right.
And it was like Long Journey Home or something like that.
Right.
And like the flavor text was like, sometimes to just discover yourself, you just gotta take your own personal journey. And I'm like, oh, that's nice.
So
like,
you can technically undo it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how it happens
they-
in the story.
It may be fine. And Bruna and Gazella may get better.
I mean, it's possible that when they imprison Emrakul, it undoes the things that Emrakul did, but I don't think that's really how that happens.
I doubt it. If anything, what may happen is Brizella will either die, or Brizella will stay fused, but not be like a monster anymore. She'll turn into just an angel that has like 2 parts.
Maybe.
But maybe. I mean, most likely she's just going to die.
We're going to have to come back to Innistrad a third time.
Eventually, I hope they don't, because like Innistrad.
I mean, we were just here 5 years ago.
Yeah, we were just here 5 years ago, and the bigger point, Innistrad's kind of done. It's done everything that Innistrad needs. Like the first Innistrad was really cool, but it didn't really do anything.
I was okay with that.
Yeah, and I was fine with that. Don't get me wrong. But this one, it was cool, and they did stuff.
Right.
Stuff happened. Like it had a plot. It was really good. And like they're gonna be done. They may come back, but if they do, it'll just be a, hey guys, remember Innistrad? Remember how cool it was?
Right.
Let's just go back and just have a set. And let's have a breather set.
I think it would be fine. Like we're in that. Our standard now is just two sets per block. You can go to a plane to just not do a whole lot and just have cool stuff.
Yeah, just like, hey, remember this cool plane? It was awesome, wasn't it?
Which is why I want to go back to Lorwyn so bad.
Yeah, I don't, because Lorwyn is a little too typical. It's too similar to Zendikar for me, and it's like just too normal Tolkien family. It's
Zendikar.
It's Lorwyn minus the Eldra. Lorwyn is
It's
Zendikar
Lorwyn
minus the Eldrazi.
all of the crazy mana and the fact that the land is just always in an upheaval.
That's what
makes Zendikar Zendikar.
Yeah, as the land is an upheaval and the Eldrazi.
So it's just like a normal any other plane.
Exactly. It is
Zendikar. All planes
are
just normal any other planes.
Not Innistrad. Innistrad is full of gothic horror. That's what makes it cool. Mirrodin is full of metal. Makes it cool. Ravnica is a giant city, which encompasses an entire plane.
Lorwyn had 100-year day-night cycle. I say had. It might not have it, but it could have that again.
The problem is like the day side would be.
The day side was still fun.
Yeah, the day side. I'm not saying they can't make it fun. I'm saying is by itself, Lorwyn is just typical Tolkien fantasy, which I don't really care to go to. Like, I'm not saying it'll be bad. It'll just be. So I'm like, Kaladesh is. I'm not sure what Kaladesh is, but it's going to be about.
I'm pretty convinced that Kaladesh is just going to be Mirrodin again.
I don't think it's going to be Mirrodin. I think it's going to be. It's going to be that one section of Origins because it was Kaladesh.
Here's what it is. My prediction for Kaladesh is it's going to be a weird fusion of Mirrodin and Esper.
I don't remember Esper.
Esper, I think I could be mistaken about this, but I think Esper was like the dawn of colored artifact creatures.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong about that. But Esper was...
I do know Esper is associated with artifacts, so you may be right on that.
But basically, people would replace whole parts of themselves with this ethereum metal that maintained their life force.
Maybe. I think Kaladesh, I think Kaladesh is going to be full of constructs and Thopter. And what's that one card from Time Spiral that whenever you... it was whenever something happened, do a thing, but there's no card that did that.
Oh, yeah. Steam Flogger Boss.
Yeah, and what does he do?
Whenever
It's like whenever a machine is assembled or something like that.
it's whenever oh, darn it. Other riggers you control get +1/+0 and have haste. If a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, it assembles 2 contraptions instead.
They're going to have those. They're going to have contraptions and riggers. Like, that's going to be a big thing in Kaladesh.
I wish that they wouldn't.
I wish...
I like the fact that Steam Flogger Boss does nothing.
Yeah. I do find that hilarious, but when was Time Spiral? Like 10 years?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it's like 10 years that joke has ran. I think it's fine to close the chapter on that book of that joke. Especially since we can tell the Thames like, hey, guess what? I just assembled 2 contraptions. Remember when this mechanic was introduced 10 years ago and never used? Anyway, that's enough of Bernard and Gisela.
Yeah.
I've talked too much about them too.
No, that's okay. Here's the...
Let's talk about another card I wanted to talk about, but you called first, so technically I'm talking about another card again. Go ahead.
So, Spell Queller is going to be a blast. Oh, man. This is going... It's a blue-white spirit, so here we go. Blue-white spirits is getting support. It needs it. It's 3 mana for a 2/3 flash flyer. That's solid.
That is good.
3 mana for a 2/3 flash flyer? Great. Here's the fun part. When Spell Queller enters the battlefield, exile target spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. Next ability, when Spell Queller leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner may cast that card without paying its mana. This card cracks me up in so many ways. It's just as broken as Detention Sphere. You can perma-exile spells by flickering this out before the first ability resolves.
Yup.
Wizards has not learned that this is so
they have
abusable.
learned. They have learned because they printed cards with new wording specifically to avoid that. And they have specifically ignored that rule for this card. Because they knew. In their defense, this one is blue-white.
This, and it's hilarious. It literally is a Detention Sphere for the stack. Because Detention Sphere is also blue-white.
Yeah, and also gets non-land permanents, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, admittedly, there is a restriction on this.
Blue-white-white, I think.
Yeah, but that means it's still blue-white.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm saying colors.
Yeah, no, but I think blue-white.
The limitation on this, oh man, it's limitation. Converted mana costs 4 or less.
And that is right where it needs. Because 4 or less, like 4.
That's a lot. That's your first half of any mana curve.
Yeah, and that's usually where mana curves generally stop. Like 5 or 6 is where
5 or 6 is really high.
Yeah, 5 or 6 is where this is the most expensive card in my deck. Yeah, if you're talking constructed. Standard something like an EDH is I play a 12-drop because why
this
not?
card exiles Tamiyo.
Yep.
You drop this while Tamiyo's on the stack, gone.
It exiles Mind Sculptor.
It does. It exiles any of the baby planeswalkers.
Mm-hmm. It is really good. And probably my favorite thing about this card is the art.
I love it.
My God, look at that art.
It's gorgeous.
Oh,
it really is.
Adam
Paquette.
Adam Paquette, if you're listening to this, you are a god amongst men. That art is it looks like the Grim Reaper if the Grim Reaper replaced his scythe with a lantern on a chain that absorbed souls.
Frankly, that could be the Grim Reaper as far as we know in Innistrad.
It could be. I mean, holy crap. This art is amazing. Fun fact, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the guy who did the art for Giza and Geralf did the art for both Giza and Geralf.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
It
also
only makes sense.
The Origins, Liliana and Ashiok. One of my actual, I also forgot to mention this earlier, one of my favorite things about the Giza and Geralf deck is you can run Giza and Geralf, and Giza and Geralf, and you can swing with Giza and Geralf and Geralf.
Right.
Or Giza and Geralf and Giza and Geralf. Like, well, I blocked you, send her off. All right, you're gonna have to be specific here, dude.
You're gonna have to explain yourself here.
I was like, anyway. Another card.
So, yeah, now we're getting into the plot cards.
Yeah, actually, let's pull up a different card first. Summary dismissal. I want to bring up this one first because it's very, very similar to
So
the last one.
While Spell Queller is a Banisher Priest for the stack.
Yep.
Let me rephrase that. While Spell Queller is a Tension Sphere for the stack.
Summary Dismissal is a Wrath of God for the stack. Even better, because it actually exiles everything. So Summary Dismissal is a 4-drop instant. It costs 2 and 2 blue. For exile all other spells and counter all abilities.
I think this mana cost is right where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Wrath of God.
Yeah.
Except, like, it's one time, it's just for the stack. It doesn't do anything to the board, but it prevents everything going off at once.
It gets rid of any non-counterable spells that happen to be on the stack at the time.
Yeah, like, this card is just beautiful. It does everything you want it to do. It's going to be run a lot in Commander, just by, like...
This might see standard play. If control decks make a resurgence, and I suspect that control decks might make a resurgence here.
After Coco goes away, I don't know, the control in Shadows of Innistrad isn't really strong. A lot of the blue is like graveyard stuff. Blue is a strong support color, but it doesn't have white enough to get their control. Kaladesh may change that.
Yeah.
Especially since Kaladesh is going to be about a lot of artifacts, and blue and artifacts get really well.
Yeah. But I suspect that this is... Oh, man, this is going to see some play.
Definitely. Especially, I honestly think Commander EDH is going to be where it's at, because things like, this guy has like 100 creatures, and like someone's going to Wrath, and then whenever this creature dies, effects are going to like, oh yeah, I have a Blood Artist and infinite 0/1s, or something like that. Like, kill them all so that way everyone loses except me. It's like, Wrath of God, they all go in the stack. Summary Dismissal. Yeah. Screw all your crap. Screw you and your infinite win.
And it also puts a shining stop to those ridiculous stack wars that sometimes happen.
Like, I draw 10 cards. No, because I'm going to counter that. It's like, well, no, because I'm going to counter that. It's like, I redirect your first counter to your second counter. It's like,
I Void Slime your third counter for I don't know why.
Well, probably my favorite stack war I saw was someone had Standstill on.
Okay.
And after it was like a really long game, and like everyone had like 2 cards left in them. So if someone got Standstill, or if someone got the Standstill ability, everyone else would draw 3 cards.
Right.
Because that's how it works. Someone's like, oh, well, I cast a spell. It's like, oh no, I cast a spell in response in order to get he would cast a spell. Standstill would go on the stack. Well, I cast this. Standstill would go on the stack again. And just like there's like a big war of everyone like doing this, like I blue sun you so you draw cards and then die before Standstill goes off again anyway. Just like Summer Dismissal, nothing happens. Screw you all. With the exception of Standstill would go on after that.
That's true.
So whatever. Anyway, Summary Dismissal is great. I love the fact that he's a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, totally a Ghostbuster.
He's just like, get all this stuff out of here.
With a big old vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I actually think that he's blowing out stuff.
He could be.
Like, I think he's swooping out and like the light spirit gunk. I also do love the flavor text. Like, let's just start fresh. Just get rid of all this stuff.
This card's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking.
Yup.
So now we're starting to get into the actual flavor cards, the plot cards.
Yeah, like as I mentioned earlier, go to Liliana. Go in order of the story. So Liliana. So one of the first things, as we all know, one of the first things that happened with Eldritch Moon is Emrakul showed up. You heard he summoned Emrakul.
Yep.
Emrakul ruined everything. Thing that Emrakul does is Emrakul just messes with living matter.
Right.
Things that are alive, messes with the minds of things. And Liliana just happened to be on Innistrad, because that's where she lives now.
Because why not?
And at first she didn't care, but then all of a sudden Emrakul showed up and was starting wrecking everything, and Liliana got attacked by wolves, and Liliana can't have that.
No.
So Liliana summoned some zombies and noticed that zombies aren't affected by Emrakul, because they're not alive, nor do they have minds.
Yep.
So she's like, cool. And it literally one of the stories, Liliana just Emrakul, and just started walking towards Emrakul, taking a long way, just took her time, walking by, just happened to walk through little pathways that led her by cemeteries, which there are plenty of in Innistrad.
I'm really surprised there's anyone living left in Innistrad.
I know, right? And just pulling up zombie after zombie, she'll have an army, which is weird, because she only needs 7. Emrakul's a 13. You just need to somehow, you'll actually need 14 zombies. 7 zombies to throw the other 7 zombies into
7
the
zombies
air.
to give the other 7 zombies flying.
Yep. To kill him.
Brian Stoutarm.
Yeah, so Liliana, really like her. She's a 3-drop. She comes in with 3 loyalty counters. I like how they're very consistent with that now.
Yeah.
Like, whatever its converted mana cost is whatever it comes in the battlefield with. But her +1 is up to 1 target creature gets -2/-1
Right.
until your next turn, which is good because it essentially shuts down a creature if not kills it 1/1, and she costs 3.
Right.
-2, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's good. -2, put a creature to your hand. That's a -2.
Yeah. I
Not
mean,
expensive.
You can do it as soon as she comes in and potentially get a creature that you just milled back to your hand. That's
Yeah, I mean,
useful.
is good. And her -7 is you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. So she essentially doubles your zombies and then adds 2.
Yeah.
It's a
not
zombie.
bad.
She's a zombie deck
She's
card.
definitely a zombie deck card.
Like-
she's not nearly as versatile, I don't think, as
No.
Tamiyo, but in the right deck, she's gonna be a powerhouse.
And that's why I like her. That's what I want to see when I see a Planeswalker. I want to see something like, yeah, Liliana the Last Hope is no Liliana the Veil, but every deck that's black and modern runs out of the Veil. There's a reason why she's a $100 card.
Right.
Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see a zombie deck. Oh, you're running Liliana the Last Hope, right? Like, yeah, 'cause she's so good in this deck. Because zombies, and I really like Liliana. And with Liliana, there's also Oath of Liliana, because she finally decided to join the Gatewatch because her and Jace have a thing, and she had pretty.
Jace
And-
batted his eyelashes.
Batted his eyelashes, and a giant tentacle monster from space showed up. I mean, if your boyfriend shows up and he brings you a giant spaghetti monster from space, can you say no? I mean, really? So, Oath of Liliana, it's a 3-drop. One thing I noticed, it's very similar art to all the rest of the Oaths, where they have their, like, one hand up. Most of them usually have a hand on their heart, like Gideon does. But every other Oath has some kind of, like, magic sigil, like, in the air when they put up their hand.
Right.
Liliana doesn't.
No.
Which kind of makes sense to the fact that Liliana isn't exactly all that hyped by the Gatewatch.
Right.
I mean, the flavor text for this is, I'll keep watch. Happy now? Like, that's it. Just like,
yeah, I don't
whatever.
imagine her keeping a whole lot of
Yeah.
watch.
In her defense, she's black.
Yeah.
The color card, not, she's definitely a white woman. But she's black, and not a lot of people like black. I mean, it's good if you need an army, but like,
It's great if you need an army.
it's great if you need an army.
Your soldiers basically are unending.
Yeah, that's about it. Like, just like she'll do less of keep watch and just like, you need an army of 2/2 zombies. Well, I guess I can pull some up for you.
I suppose there are dead people here.
You guys keep watch, and I'll just kill giant spaghetti monsters if they show up. So, Oath of Liliana, much like all the other Oaths, is a legendary enchantment. When Oath of Liliana enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature, which is good because it's each opponent.
Yeah.
But she's an enchantment, so it's essentially like a flesh bag marauder.
Right.
Or like, it enters the battlefield, everyone sacrifices a creature, you don't gain a creature.
Right.
But it's each opponent, so it's good. And at the beginning of your end step, if a planeswalker entered the battlefield under control this turn, put a 2/2 zombie creature token onto the battlefield, which is
It's usable, I guess.
it's not particularly good, mainly for the fact that one, if you're running a bunch of planeswalkers, it's usually banned because banned Super Friends is the deck, and like,
I mean, I can imagine that any of the Oath cards going into your Planeswalker EDH deck.
And that Planeswalker EDH deck, which is a deck made entirely out of every Planeswalker I could get my grubby mitts on, including all the ones that don't work at all.
Sarkin the Mad.
They don't. Like, that deck is definitely just going to drop the red and black. Because the red and black they don't work. The red and black are like,
but
on their own.
Liliana exists now.
Yeah, but like, once
Not
again,
that
she
that's
doesn't
useful.
work in a Planeswalker deck because she's
No.
like, oh, target creature does this. Like,
So-
return a creature card from my graveyard to my hand. I don't have creatures.
Right. But the Gatewatch, Liliana has joined the Gatewatch. Now it's time to deploy it.
Yep.
Deploy the Gatewatch is 6 mana, 4 and 2 white, which, yeah.
It's a little
For a
like that.
sorcery, look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up to 2 Planeswalker cards from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is a Planeswalker version of Coco.
Essentially, but it costs 6.
Yeah,
Like, it is
but you get to
it
look
is-
for one more card than Collected Company does.
Anyway, yeah, you're right. It's one more card than Coco, but Coco's 3 mana.
That's but you're getting 2 planeswalkers
Yeah, that
onto
is
the
true.
battlefield.
Well, maybe if you have
here's
have
the
2
question.
planeswalkers in your top 7 cards.
Right, and that's my thing is, what kind of deck do you have to be playing?
Super Friends.
Exactly.
Like, it
you
has
have
to
to
be
be
Super
playing a deck. This card will go great in your Planeswalker EDH deck.
Yes, it will.
Because you're guaranteed, almost guaranteed,
Yep,
Planeswalkers.
definitely. And it works. You read the flavor text because it's far away. And I can...
Gideon and Liliana may not have seen eye to eye, but that did not stop them from... Gideon and Liliana may not have seen eye to eye, but that did not stop them from fighting side by side.
I like that. Those are the 2 who would hate each other the most.
Yeah.
But they're working together. There's another card that was revealed earlier today. It was something like Stand Together or something like that.
Working
I believe
together.
that is working together. I was close. It's also in Japanese. So whatever.
Right.
It's similar to Working Together because Working Together is a cheap sorcery that does stuff. But nonetheless, it's in the art it depicts Gideon with an army of zombies behind him.
And his whip and shield just at the ready.
Yep. So it's very similar to that, and like I really like that. I like how they mentioned that Gideon and Liliana don't like each other. Why? Because one's white and one's black.
Yeah.
They are opposed. They don't like each other.
Yeah, Gideon is all about the law and
Yeah.
law mage. He's a law mage.
Well, no, law mages are blue. The law thing.
Sorry, he's a hieromancer.
I guess. I mean, it's enforcing orders. That's definitely what he does. He is a
Right.
general. And earlier.
But yeah, so we've talked about Gideon. We've talked about Tamio. We've talked about
the Gatewatch in
the
general.
Gatewatch in general. There's one Planeswalker left to talk about. That's not actually a Planeswalker released in this set, but
Yep.
in fact, at least last set. Nahiri's Wrath.
I really like Nahiri.
So Nahiri's Wrath is 2 generic and a red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Nahiri's Wrath, discard X card. Nahiri's Wrath deals damage equal to the total converted mana cost of the discarded cards to each of up to X target creatures and or planeswalkers.
Yup.
This is nuts!
Yeah, I know, and it's really complicated. So
So,
like,
you set what X is. You say, I want to discard 5 cards.
yep.
That 5 is X. So anytime this card refers to X, X is 5. You discard 5 cards. You add their converted mana cost together. And then up to 5 creatures and or planeswalkers all take that added up damage.
Yep, which is a lot. Fun fact, I like the fact that you can just discard a worthless land.
Yeah.
And just screw this land, I can target something. I like you don't have to divide it either.
No.
Like I discard 2 cards. There's 2 targets that are taking
It's everything
6 damage.
It's everything you want Fireball to be that it isn't.
With the exception I have to
Oh yeah, you're a blue player. You don't like that.
Yeah, I don't. Well, also the fact that you need the cards in your hand, and in my experience of playing red decks, especially you run out of you'll have nothing left to discard. However, this one of the reasons I wanted to talk about. Fun fact about Nahiri, anything Nahiri did, nothing that Nahiri did or but almost every single card that involves Nahiri enables madness.
Yeah, this card is going to be great.
Discard. So it's not that she's mad, but she is mad. She doesn't actually have madness, but she is working because she mad.
Yeah, and this works really well with Madness because you can discard the cards. That's all that counts. You can then cast those cards if you want to.
And this only costs 3, so if you're late game, it's turn 5, discard the 2 fiery, something like that, whatever they're called, the one that costs 3, Madness 1.
Yep.
It's 3 damage to things, or 6 damage
Right.
to 2 things, and 6 damage to another 2 things.
I've seen a lot of people talking about this with Boros Reckoner because the downside to this card is it does not target players because that would be stupid broken.
It would be stupid broken.
Here's the problem. Boros Reckoner
does.
You can target creatures.
Oh my god.
Boros Reckoner, whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. Is it
target player? It does something like that. But
whenever Boros Reckoner is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target creature or player.
Yep.
It's 3 mana.
Oh my god, in the next turn.
That's rough.
You just discard your hand or to burn your Boros Reckoner and kill your opponent.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's sickening. And it's the total converted mana cost. So you run a Boros Reckoner, Nahiri's Watch, and then, I don't know, an Emrakul.
Yeah.
I discard Emrakul. And...
Yeah, just like, ta-da. Or like you run something like just with Delve.
Yeah.
And then like that costs 7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, I've seen that poking around places, and I'm like, oh, this card's gonna be gross in Modern.
Yep.
Gross.
But I really like Nahiri stuff. Fun fact, in the story today, like Nahiri did, and I'm not gonna spoil it for people to read it, but like Nahiri and Soren, it was a good.
It's about time we had anything to do with Soren.
Yeah, well, like this is kind of Soren playing.
Yeah, but he's been notoriously.
He's essentially the central point, but he's not.
He's not doing anything.
Well, he does stuff, but he does things super efficiently, too efficiently. Like he had to take out Avacyn. He showed up and just killed Avacyn. That was it, and he left.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like dwell on it. He's like, Avacyn's crazy. I have to stop her. Anyway.
So let's wrap this up with the end of the story.
Question mark?
The end of Emrakul, imprisoned in the moon.
So, Imprisoned in the Moon is a 3-drop enchantment aura. Enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent is a colorless land with tap. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool and loses all other card types and abilities. The flavor text is, only 1 vault was great enough to hold him. And that is the moon. The moon itself. I kind of want this to be legendary. It's just like 1 moon.
But you could imprison any number of things.
Maybe it's full.
They imprisoned hundreds of things in the Hell Vault, which was just a slice of the moon.
Well, like one of those are just demons. We don't even know it was hundreds. It was like a handful.
There was a lot of stuff in the vault.
It was just a couple demons. It wasn't a lot.
I got the impression that you could imprison as many things into the Hell Vault as you wanted.
That is true. It seemed like Nahiri had an entire story where she just talked about her time in the Hell Vault. It was essentially just an empty blackness.
Yeah.
And she couldn't do what she just thought for 1,000. Just sat there and thought. And just got really salty about what Soren did.
I'd be salty too.
I'd be a little pissed. Can't really blame her. But yeah, so essentially Emrakul is being O-ringed into the moon.
Yeah. Then he taps for mana.
Yeah, he taps
just
for
mana. The one.
I mean, it's kind of convenient. This is actually gonna be run in blue decks or in blue commander decks
because it gets rid of everything.
Yep, there's a Song of the Druid or something like that.
Also, it doesn't make your opponent's commander leave the battlefield, so they can't redirect it to the command zone.
Yep, they have to somehow kill off the imprisoned moon or the land. Almost impossible. There are 2 other cards to do similar things. There's it's like Song of the Dryad or something like that.
Right.
Where it just turns a creature into a forest, which is also an enchantment.
Right.
And then there's Darksteel Mutation, which my favorite, which is white. It turns it into a 0/1 indestructible. And it's indestructible, so you can't I swing it and you block. It's like, no.
All right, so that wraps up our reflection upon the Eldritch Moon spoiler season.
Yes, watch a good set.
So I'm super excited for next weekend. It's gonna be fantastic.
I am. I'm excited for this weekend because I'm gonna see people I really like play this set.
And for all of you listening to this, you should be totally stoked for release weekend.
Yep.
This is gonna be great. So go out there, have fun.
Yep. So, thank you for listening to Pick a Card, Any Card. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or card suggestions, you can email us at
pacac.cast@gmail.com.
Or if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can leave them in the comments. Bye!